We are following the latest on a deadly shooting by ICE in Maine early this morning. A 26-year-old man identified by neighbors to the Portland Press-Herald as Juan Sebastian Guerrero was shot dead this morning in Biddeford, Maine. Senator Angus King said he spoke with Homeland Security Secretary Markwayne Mullin about the case. King said Mullin initially told him that Guerrero was the target of an arrest warrant. But then King told Fox News that Mullin called him back later in the day to correct the record, that Guerrero was not the target of the warrant, but had been given orders to leave the country. King also said he was told that Guerrero had, quote, weaponized his vehicle, unquote. But a statement from DHS released this evening does not actually make that claim, instead saying, quote, the vehicle attempted to flee the scene, and fearing for public safety, an officer discharged his weapon. Immigrant rights groups say Guerrero was authorized to work in the United States, even had been issued a Social Security number. This is the second deadly shooting by a federal immigration agent in less than a week, and the second time the person who was shot was not even the target of the raid, and the second time the official story from DHS has either changed or at least been challenged. Lorenzo Salgado Araujo was fatally shot by a federal agent 6 days ago in Houston. He was also not the target of the federal officer who shot him. DHS initially said that he had weaponized his vehicle attempting to ram ICE agents. That story was contradicted by multiple witnesses, including one who spoke with MS Now today. That witness, who did not want to be identified, told MS Now that after the shooting, they saw Salgado Araujo being pulled from the vehicle and bleeding on his right side. This witness says agents handcuffed Salgado Araujo before helping him, and then they say they could hear Salgado Araujo screaming. His son, Ronaldo Salgado, spoke this weekend to my colleague, Jacob Soboroff.
We're left without a father. My mom is left without a husband. I mean, no matter how anyone puts it, a life was lost, and it was unfortunately someone who did not deserve it. I just, of course, want to continue pressuring for an independent investigation and for all the evidence to be released.
Sean Tier is the local district attorney where this shooting took place, and his office is investigating it. But as of today, he says that the Department of Homeland Security has not even provided him with the names of the officers involved in Salgado Araujo's shooting. Joining me now is Sean Tier. He is the Harris County District Attorney in Texas. His district includes Houston, where Mr. Salgado Araujo was killed. Thanks so much for joining me. You have said that the federal government has not cooperated with your office, and you're seeking funding for an independent investigation. What can you share with us about the status of that investigation at this point?
Yeah. So, Catherine, thank you for having me. This is an incredibly important story right now. We have issued almost 20 subpoenas to numerous different locations for surveillance footage, for witness statements, a lot of those types of things that we look for in every one of these kind of cases. We're the third largest county in the United States, so we have over 100 law enforcement personnel who work directly for the DA's office. We conduct these kinds of investigations all the time with the cooperation of our law enforcement partners, regardless of whether they're a federal, state, or local entity. If it happens in Harris County, we are on the scene and we're working it all the way through. This is a unique circumstance. As you already said, we don't even know the name of the shooter, and we are 6 days into this investigation. That's something we've never dealt with here, but it's not going to stop us from doing what quite frankly our ethical duty demands, and that's to investigate this and, if necessary, prosecute it.
As a prosecutor, what comes to mind when evidence or information is being withheld for this long?
Yeah, again, this is uncharted territory for us. So really all that can be drawn from that is that someone doesn't want us to see it. And that's the biggest concern. And what you see even more so is you showed a statement today that DHS put out about the Maine shooting. That's the only way we're getting information. in law enforcement here in Houston is through X. We're learning things and we're seeing them change in real time through social media. And that is absolutely not best practices when you're talking about something this serious.
Today's shooting in Maine is the second deadly shooting involving an ICE officer in just a week's time, both of which involved someone who was not the target of the agent's operations, being shot and killed. Does this approach reflect something about the training that these agents are receiving, or potentially the agency's approach, in your view?
You know, what I can tell you unequivocally is that ICE's tactics and what they are doing in the past 19 months is having the complete opposite effect on our ability to prosecute violent criminals than what they say that their objective is. We are having to dismiss and not be able to prosecute cases like aggravated sexual assault of a child because key witnesses are too scared to come forward. We are not getting aggravated robberies reported to law enforcement because the victims are too scared about their status. That is not what we should be doing in law enforcement at any level. But it's happening right now. We are not able to hold violent criminals accountable because of the tactics that we're seeing ICE employ every day.
Investigators in Minneapolis who are conducting an investigation into the deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy were just today, in fact, given some evidence by the DOJ months after the fact. Are you worried about something similar potentially happening with your investigation?
Of course. 6 months is an eternity in an investigation like this. These kinds of investigations go on for quite a while in the best kinds of circumstances. When you have key evidence that's withheld from an investigative agency for 6 months, you're putting everything further back behind the line. And we're talking about justice, not just for the Salgado family, which is very, very important here, but justice for the 5 million residents of Harris County and the entirety of the state of Texas and, quite frankly, the United States. So every day that we're not given access to the evidence is a day that it's going to take longer for us to finally get to the truth.